All right. Welcome to the Tech House Mixing Masterclass. This is going to be the video of my raw, unedited mixdown process of the track that I made like 2 years ago. So it's pretty, it's pretty old. I will not be explaining a lot of stuff, although I will be commenting and like trying to explain. But this is a video more for like intermediate, advanced guys who already know what mixing is. So if you want to see my process, if you want to see how I mix tracks, then you're gonna like this video a lot. And I think, yeah, let's not make too long of an intro, so let's just go straight into the thing. So this is how the track sounds. So the first thing, as always, is going to be the kick and the bass. I'm going to remove all the processing and everything here. I don't really know what I did. So I just want to listen to the bass, to the kick, just the way they sound without anything here. So we are peaking about -6. It's good. So I need to double check if the kick is making sense. I think it's a pretty good one, actually. I'm gonna double check with the yeah, it sounds like a pretty good kick for this track, so I don't want to change it too much. I'm just gonna double check the envelope. Real quick here. So let's do some real phones testing. And I'm gonna try to double check the envelope here. Yeah, it sounds pretty not good. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect at this point, because you can always mix that a little bit more, but we just have to get it more or less right. Okay, so I think it could be a little bit longer. Let me also do key map so I could switch between on and off on the master channel like this, and same goes for the filter. Okay, the next thing that I'm gonna do is want to use Pro Q on my kick and the bass. So we're gonna double check the we should do large. For some reason I cannot change the size of the, but okay, it's fine. Okay, so this is our kick, and we're gonna check the bass here as well. Let's see, so we're gonna see the overlapping frequencies. So the only problematic frequency here is gonna be this, right? So what we can do on the kick, let's do the same thing, bass. You can see that the kick, it doesn't have a lot of low frequencies here. So what we can do is a shelf filter, cut the, not too much though. I will start with something like, let's do something like this, like 3 dB for the start, then we can correct that. Should be good. Okay. The next thing that we want to do is going to be the sidechain envelope. So there's a little trick that I always do on my kicks. which is if you put the LFO tool, you can see the length of the kick like this. So now we will know exactly how much, yeah. So the envelope should be something like this, right? So we can go back to the base. Yeah, it's pretty much what we had with our kick, right? So we can do like this. Okay, this is going to be our starting point. Let's check with okay, let's check with the filter. This might not be the perfect kick, but as long as you understand how to do it, it's not going to be really big of a problem to replace it or... Okay, I want to play a little bit with different rooms and, check it. So the bass has some mid frequencies that I'm not really liking, which is going to be... Yeah, so you can see this is the area that I'm not really liking so much. You can see that we can do something like this. Also be careful with the phase, right? You don't want to do too aggressive cuts or something like this, right? But this is the problematic area, basically. And we can do a little bit of dynamic. No, what I'm actually liking this a little bit more. Yeah, so in my opinion, the track, it should have this nice and deep bass here. We can also do like... I don't think it's gonna change too much, but just a little bit, it might be useful. Okay, so this is gonna be our... The next thing that I want to do on the bass is make sure that I filter out the side information, although we don't have any stereo, but it is there actually, and it is creating a lot of mud in your tracks if you don't filter the stereo. Just check how the kick sounds. There's a little bit of a difference here. Okay, so for the next one, this is what I want to do. And maybe shape it a little bit like this. It's pretty subtle processing, not really doing that much here. Let's see what we can do. Just kind of want to balance the... Okay, this is sounding pretty good so far. And you can also see how much there's in terms of the loudness change. Okay, the next thing that I want to do, I want to reference that a little bit more on some different systems, basically. Okay, pretty interesting. So I definitely want to use a little bit of compression, and what we can do here is we can let me play some drums here as well. Even though we compressed, compressed, excuse me, we applied a bit of EQ to the bass here, I'm still not really liking the dynamics of the bass line. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a compressor before the EQ, and we're gonna try to compress the bass a little bit. So let's see. I want to compress the sub. So we want to start with a bit longer attack. I think something like this, and listening to the punch of the kick, how much it changes when I change the Let's start with something like this. I like the opto for my bass lines. Compress it a little bit more. I'm not using any auto gain here because I'm trying to compensate with a compressor. I'm trying to compress those bass frequencies to smooth out the dynamics of the bass. Right, so let's do without the EQ and the compressor. You can see how much space it takes in the mix, right? So now we can compensate a little bit here. Okay, that's kind of cool. I like that. So we can double check the balance of the bass on bigger speakers. Because if we push it a little bit more, it becomes too much, right? You can see how much space it takes in the mix. Let's do another thing. I want to use another compressor here with a much longer attack and something like medium long release time. And we want to shape the dynamics a little bit more. So yeah, I think something like that would sounds pretty nice. So you can hear the bass is sitting like it's pretty tight. sits pretty well. Now let's do the same thing for the kick. So with the kick, like, at least I'm not pretending that this is, you know, the right way to mix. This is something that works for me. I'm gonna do the same thing to the kick, right? So I just want to find the area in the kick, which it's around 50. Now let's work with the attack. So let's find the attack timing that I'm pushing it a little bit more. Okay, let's start with this. I think it's pretty cool. We can try different algorithms. So I think the punch is the one to go here. Okay, so let's start with something like this. We got a shake before and after. Yes, so the loudness has changed. And that's how I use a compressor. So again, I'm not saying that this is right or wrong. I just like using compressor in the way to, like, in a very specific way to tame the frequencies that we have here, right? So I want to reduce them. So I'm using the sidechain filter. So now the compressor reacts more to 50 hertz here. Okay, so let's see. So all we really did here is we just made the kick and the bass a little bit tighter. Which is pretty nice. But I still want to push my kick a little bit more here and compensate for that. You can see the dark green, right? So we have about something like 6 dB, something like that. Okay, so the second one here is I'm gonna use a bit longer attack, which I think would be around, yeah, 30, maybe 50, shorter release time, auto here. I think the sweet spot is around here, right? So let's do pumping. I think it's going to be something like that. So technically, after the compression, we were peaking -12. Now let's compensate a little bit more for the compression that we did. Let's start with 2 dB. So the loudness is pretty much the same, but the kick feels a little bit tighter, right? That's pretty nice. And we're gonna put EQ after the compression. Let's play a little bit more with the EQ. I want the kick to be there's gonna be something. Yeah, I'm not really liking 300 in this case. So, depending on where you listen on your system, it may seem like the kick has lost its power. Again, this is just something that I do. I'm not a mixing engineer. I don't have any degree in that. But I tested my tracks in the club, and if you don't compress your kick and the bass enough, it's just not going to sound good, right? So you want to control the bass frequencies. This is really, really important. Like, I can't stress it enough. I wouldn't really say the difference is really that big. Yes, we are losing a little bit of that low end, but you just don't need so much energy. Right, we can still go for. This is more than enough, really, so. What we can do now is put this little click on the top. Just gonna be the click. So now we have a pretty much full-fledged kick, right? So sounds good. I like it. The bass is nice. By the way, on the second one, what we can do is we can make it react to the this is without. So -1, right? So let's see. Let's push it a little bit more here. And we can also do another one, which will be because it is compressing. You still want to leave a little bit here, so I'll probably do like this. Should sit pretty well. Yeah, you can now hear the bass is really tight, it's really clean, although like I didn't do that much, to be honest. And I don't think it needs to be like as loud. We can still push it. You can see the character of the bass line didn't really change that much, right? So nice and tight. We can double check in the car, because car is usually one of the, it's really boomy, but some of the tracks, they just will be this way. Nothing you can really do. And if I bypass the compression and you can see it's, let's also check the levels. Yeah, you can see everything is pretty tight, it's pretty nice, pretty clean. So what we can do next is work a little bit on the group processing. Let me see what I had for my, so let's do this thing from scratch. I really like group saturation. It's a nice thing to have. So let's split the whole thing into this is basically just the click. And then for the rest of the saturate the mids a little bit more. It's gonna give the right punch and power to the and for the sub part of the track, let's see, I think here, let's do I want the track to be a little bit like knocking, kind of. Let's mix that. This part is giving the nice mid to the kick in the bass. And you want to be careful with this stuff, because if you overdo it, it's just not going to sound really nice. Yeah, that's it. I think I don't want to do anything more than that. And let's mix 50. It's usually a pretty good point to start with. Yeah, just check how it sounds in the car now, right? So we can do. Like, it's still a little bit boomy. It still needs a bit of control. But I like it. So let's do a little bit of synths now. I'm not gonna mix the synths because I usually go first I do the bass, then I do the drums, and then I do the synths. I just want to apply this whole play the synth just to be able to understand how that's gonna sit in the mix and so on. And don't want to listen in the car really. Let's do, this is one of my favorite ones though. Yeah, just check it without the, so it brings up a little bit more of those mids. Just be very careful when you are doing this kind of saturation, because we technically do have this crossover slope, right? If it's too aggressive, it can mess up the phase a little bit. But if I usually do like mix, and then you know it's okay. It's just the right amount. Okay, so what do we have on this synth? I had a very basic EQ on this thing. So you don't want to have too much low end. We're not gonna mix too much. I just want to kind of balance it, and that's it, at least for now. Okay, this is pretty nice. I might change the bass actually. I'm not really sure about this track, to be honest, because that's, as I told, this really old idea that I had. Like, it's not bad. I'm just not fully sure about the bass pattern. I kind of want to keep it sustained. Keep it like this. Not gonna use this for now. Okay, so let's continue with the, yeah, you can see mixing the kick and the bass, it takes like a lot of time, like really a lot of time. Sounds weird on my headphones though, but just by listening on, you can see the synth, it is really like upfront. I like it. Now I wanna bring the drums a little bit up, so. Let's fine tune the envelope a little bit. Yeah, I think something like that, it's pretty cool. And one more thing that I want to do is put a little bit of spectral sidechain onto my bass. So that's going to be... %. Yeah, just pay attention to how much the kick punches through, right? It's really cool. Like, I like it way more now. Yeah, really nice, really clean if you compare to the first version, once we started the mixing. Yeah, and on those big speakers, it is really on point. Yeah, so that's the most important thing that we have to do when it comes to the kick and bass here. Okay, the next thing that we want to do is going to be a bit of compression, really. So I do it in a very specific way, which involves combining, like, first I think I just want to do, maybe we're not going to do any multi-band compression like whatsoever. I think for this kick and the bass, we're gonna go with like medium compression, like relatively long attack. So I don't want to like over compress it. Start with bus. That's gonna be it. So our purpose with the compressor on the kick and the bass group is to find the attack and the release ratio, like correlation of attack and release, so we can accentuate the groove of the elements, right? Can we try like this? That's too much, right? You can see. Too fast. We want to have a bit of release. Okay, and then the attack could be that's too long. Too short. I think I want to keep it around 15. Not really looking at the numbers, it's more I just go by feeling, how I feel the track. Yeah, you can see that it kind of fits the groove. We can also try punch. Gives a bit more punchy sound, right? Pumping is an interesting one. I would either go with bus kind of like the has a bit more interesting sound to it, to be honest. I mean, buzz is also a cool one. Yeah, you can see how much the groove has changed, right? So on the kick here, let's see, so we have the second one. So on the second one, I want the compressor to react to around here, right? I'm just gonna double check. Yes, it's around 150. So we're gonna do 150. Okay, this is the part of the kick which I'm not really pretty nice, right? So my question is, does it actually sound better? We're gonna reduce the compression. Maybe, you know what? Maybe we could just leave it the way, at least like for now, because I don't want to overdo it. It was pretty good at this point. Yeah, let's look at the waveform. Everything is pretty nice, pretty like flat in a good way. Let's check without those two on the group. Yeah, you can see it's not as glued together. If you want, you can saturate after compression. Really depends on what you're trying to achieve. Okay, the next thing that I want to do, I want to try a bit of multi-band. So it's this area that I'm not really liking, to be honest. We want to compress it. Like, it should have a little bit of attack. You can see I'm not really compressing the sub, not really compressing the rest of the yeah, so the release should be somewhere here. Okay, let's bypass just to see if we are doing the right thing. Yeah, you can see this part is not really cool. And then it's just really all about finding that balance. Yeah, just listen to how the kick and the bass sounds. We can also test again on the, yeah, really nice, really tight, really clean. So really when you master compression, you can see how much you can do for your mixes. Like, it's super important. Maybe we could, let me just try. I'm just trying to understand what I do like more. Kind of liking the multi-band compressor in the start of the chain. Yeah, it sits a little bit better. And you can hear the compression is pretty, like, we could push it just a little bit more maybe. Shorten the attack a bit. Okay, so now we're gonna test in the car. So the shorter the attack is, the more aggressive the sound becomes, right? So here again, there's no right or wrong. You just wanna listen to what you have. I'm kind of liking between 30 and 40%. Okay, this is pretty cool. Let's now do the instrument section. So this one, again, I'm not gonna mix it really that much. I just want to see how that's gonna sound. Okay, let's give it a test in. Yeah, pretty nice, pretty clean. Yeah, you can hear the really good, right? Everything is nice and clean. I like that. Okay, the next thing that I want to do is let's have some instruments playing here. Make the curve a little bit like, is that a curve? Envelope? I think it's envelope, right? Okay, so could we bring it a little bit? I'm gonna save this sound because I don't have the same contact library. I just want to kind of bring it a little bit up front, right? So we have sounds a little bit weird. I don't know what that is. I'm gonna fix that for the next video, but yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's so weird when you listen to your older tracks. I'm not really feeling those two sounds together, so I might think about the arrangement and stuff. So for now, like this is a weird thing about older tracks that you have. So you wait like a year, maybe two, and then you come back and then you see that it just doesn't really sound that good, right? So that's not really nice. Okay, so I think that's going to be it for the first part of the video. I'm going to be doing more, so I have to figure out the arrangement. But I think it should give you a lot of insights on how you can mix the kick, the bass, and stuff. So let's do one final check in the car. So even though the bass is boomy, it's pretty controlled, right? So with those, this is just not nice, right? So this is why it's so important to compress your sounds properly. Okay, is there anything else I want to do to the... Probably not. I think that's going to be it for now. I'll figure out the rest of the track, because I'm probably not gonna mix the track like fully. I'll just mix this section, and yeah, I think that's gonna be pretty much it. Everything that you need to know. Okay, so that's gonna be everything. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you learned something from this video, and I'll see you in the next one.